Today we're going to talk about a name, but it isn't just a name. It's a rhythm, a patience, a soft voice echoing through a home. Setenay. She comes to us on the wind from the Caucasus, out of the oral epics of the Narts. Lady Setenay, mother of the Narts. In the stories, she appears on a riverbank or at a loom or beside the glow of a hearth. She reminds us of the water that brings a flower back to life. She speaks so gently that even the sun seems to pause for a moment, and she shows how fire can be shaped by human hands. Most of all, she reminds us that what we call living is a kind of daily handcraft, small, steady work done with care. A day is stitched together with little details, emails, appointments, school drop-offs and pickups, doctor visits for aging parents, credit card statements, endless to-do lists, and then somewhere, like a wilted flower left on the table, there's a relationship that's been neglected, a feeling that hasn't been spoken, a postponed question. How are we doing? That's why Setenay's tales slip easily into our homes. No matter how hard the wind blows outside, they teach us to return to the small handwork that keeps life alive inside. Picture her. She finds a wilted flower by the river, brings it home, plants it, waits. The soil is right, the pot is fine, the flower wilts. She doesn't give up. She plants again. It wilts again. A third time. The rain comes, the flower lives. A tiny scene with a giant lesson tucked inside. What you value can't live on intention alone. It lives on regular attention. Attention has a rhythm. Like water, we treat that rhythm as a luxury today. But marriages, friendships, parenting, partnerships, they all run on water. Small conversations, 20 minutes with the phones off, a question asked, as if for the first time. How are you today? Sometimes the sound of water is silence. Sometimes it's asking the same gentle question again. How are you today? The care inside the way you ask. That's the water. Think of a note on the fridge. Tonight, 8 o'clock, us. A coffee mug with steam rising, 2 fingerprints on the rim. 2 people side by side, phones out of the room. It feels like a small sacred table has been set in the middle of the house. That's where the water is given. A flower doesn't wilt in the blink of an eye. We neglect it slowly. The moment we admit that, we remember where the water goes. Forgetting is easy. Remembering is a choice. When we forget, we say, "It just happened." It didn't. We forgot to water. Now we remember. While water calls us back inside, another scene offers us a way to step outside of time. Setenay at her loom, eyes on the horizon. "I'll finish before the sun goes down," she told herself. She works and works. It won't be finished. And then, not a miracle, but wisdom, she tells the sun, "Wait." Sometimes life is learning to say, "I won't make it." Speed dazzles in the short run and breaks in the long run. We can't make time bigger, but we can set a boundary with time. I'm human. It might not be done. Let's renegotiate. We forget that a boundary doesn't have to be a hard slap. It can be a soft hand. "I can't finish today, but I can send a draft at 11 a.m. tomorrow" isn't an escape. It's a sentence that protects the health of a relationship. Let's take 10 minutes and then tackle the first 2 problems together. Isn't laziness. It's pacing. This isn't a good moment for me to talk. How about 20 minutes at 8 tonight? Isn't a loveless no, it's love itself. The moments when the sun waits are the moments when the panic beat inside a home slows down. There's a little metronome in us that always wants faster because fast buys us quick praise. But slowness grows the kind of care that lasts. Not now is not the same as never. Put the boundary in the right place and you save the relationship. Refuse to, and the relationship burns you from straight overhead like the midday sun. Try this today with whatever has you most jammed up. Add a sentence that changes the rhythm. I won't swallow this in one bite. I'll take 3. Now, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon. You may be surprised. The sun knows how to wait. The real question is whether we believe we deserve that waiting. And then there's fire. In the Nart stories, Setenay has a child, Sosriko. Brilliant, gifted, fiery, and difficult. Fire can warm a house or burn it down. Power isn't a virtue by itself. When it takes shape, it becomes a gift. Setenay knows this. She brings the boy to the blacksmith's forge. Klepsh, master of fire, hammers the iron, piece by piece, beat by beat, patiently, and Sosriko finds form. In a home today, a fiery child is no surprise, creative but resistant to rules, bright but impatient, tender but explosive, and sometimes that child is actually the adult version of us, accomplished, but struggling to handle anger, still searching for shape inside. Fire isn't managed by control, it's managed by channel, not the technique of scolding, the technique of directing. Pour the energy into something, break the work into smaller pieces, make each small win visible. And the old craft of master and apprentice still works. Finding a coach, a therapist, a mentor, a craftsperson isn't weakness. It's the art of giving fire a home. Give your fire 1 hour a week, music, writing, a project. Which talent is waiting for shape? Which desire is asking for a space? Which anger wants to turn into words? You don't have to put the fire out. You set a table for it. 1 hour, 1 day, 1 mentor, and the word continue. Through all of this, Setenay's voice carries like a gentle authority in the life of a community. In a crisis, people listen because she raises the level of respect in the room. We often mistake authority for volume. What lasts is the quiet strength that shows up again and again. Speak plainly, go after the behavior, not the person. Start small, trust small repairs over grand restorations. Create little rites, 10-minute family councils each week, a monthly gratitude lap, a yearly what did we build this year night. Ritual opens an invisible door for households trapped inside their own walls. A small fire in the backyard, a plate shared with neighbors, 2 songs in the living room, a note pinned to the wall. Who was I kind to today? Respect is a climate. Feet step more softly as people draw near, just as in Setenay's world. We sometimes speak in the language of midlife, but it isn't about age, it's about learning to rearrange the story. If Setenay lived today, she'd wake early, pour the coffee, and write 3 words on the first page of a small notebook. Water. Sunday fire. Then 3 questions. What will I water today? Which bond? Which small ritual? Which body? What will I ask to wait? Which request? Which inner panic button? Which fire will I give shape? Which talent? Which desire? Which anger? She wouldn't watch the kitchen clock as much as the heart's clock. Who am I? Who can I serve? Who can I speak to more kindly today? In that moment, names begin to shine like Setenay. Names are intention before they are culture, the imprint you want to leave. Some names turn into a soft click in a household. Setenay is one of them, and the letters feel like a little map. C, steadfastness. Te, tact and prudence. Na, a nurturing bond. Y, yet again, anew. Myths lend us words we can borrow. We put the word myth right next to work, which walks around like a mask, and we carry it all the way into the kitchen, a hand on a shoulder, and the whisper, it's watering time. Most magic is an ordinary sentence spoken in the right place. How are you today? The myth stands behind that sentence and says, I turn toward you. I'm here. Now picture a small scene. 3 chairs in a backyard, evening sun slipping over the fence. A teenager who isn't great at talking but has a full heart tugs out their earbuds and says, could we try this together? A mother, her name may not be Setenay, has Setenay's voice inside and says, water first. 10 minutes, no phones. A father says, okay. The sun slows, which is to say the panic inside slows. Then a little plan. 1 hour of music each week, a movie each month, a tiny getaway every 3 months. Who got watered? Everyone. Who waited? The sun. What became of the fire? It turned into music. The next morning, there's a Post-it on the fridge. Tonight, 8 o'clock, us. A myth becomes real when it becomes a Post-it. Our problem isn't ignorance, it's forgetting. Remembering is water, asking to wait, giving shape. Let one sentence remain at the end of the day. My job is to water what I love. Inside that sentence are family, friendship, self-compassion, neighborliness, teamwork. If you give water, the sun will wait. If the sun waits, the fire won't flare out of control. It will take form. One morning, you'll wake and see a calmer face in the mirror. Because beauty is care. Value doesn't grow in the little boxes on a calendar. It grows in the small commitments we write inside those boxes. That's Setenay's lesson. Remember with water. Renegotiate with the sun. Give shape with fire. And in the middle of everything, say her name softly. Setenay, a name that brings kindness to the tongue and a gentle rhythm to a home. I dedicate this video to my beloved Setenay, whose patience softens time and whose inner light gently waters the flowers of our home each day.